come I can hear myself now?
I don't know.
Like a minute later. Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't know why you can hear yourself twice.
Okay. This is what we do when we're not sure what to do.
We keep doing that because we have
We
people
make
trying to get
music.
in.
We make music. And we send out our love anyway. Thank you, technologies. Thank you, friends, for showing up.
Hold space, I'm trying to
Thank
hold with my
you for what?
hugging.
You cannot believe how many cameras are in this room. So imagine, if you will, that story time had a ton of people. But it really doesn't matter how many people. All that matters is that you're here now. We're here now. We're here now. We're here now. I say we get this story time on the road. What do you say? Do we have the Zoom room working?
Yeah, it's working.
Okay.
There's some grandparents trying to get in with their children, and I'm trying to help them.
Oh, I that's so helpful for me to know. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to switch instruments. Is that all right? Well, If you're joining us live, I want to give you so much thanks. I'm Bright Hawk. I'm playing just a little bit of music because we're trying to figure a couple things out, technically speaking. Giving great gratitude for this moment, for you, for this technology that's supporting all of us in our creativity. We're live here in Colorado, up in the mountains where the snow is still melting. I'm giving thanks for such a beautiful day. No surprise if lots of you are hopefully trying to enjoy a beautiful day wherever you are. Okay, can you put that on the group view so I can see that one? Okay. Okay, so you're not. Okay.
Ready? The parent is.
Okay, are we ready then? All right. Well, welcome one and welcome all. It's a blessing to have you here. I'm Bright Hawk. And before any story can begin, well, we have to begin by welcoming the spirits of the story. Gitanin ta je takomo, a story, a story. Let it come and let it go. Now, this is the story of once upon a time in a land far away with big mountains and jungles and mountains and steepness. There, carved into the hillside of the mountain, was a farm and rice paddies and beans. There at the farm was a child named Tonlu. And Tonlu worked on the farm every day with their siblings and their parents and their family. And when the family worked on the farm together in the rice fields, they sang. And they worked hard. And at the end of the day, Tonlu would sit at the edge of the plateau, looking off the edge of the mountain, down into the valley where the village was. And you could see where the village was because all the people moved around like tiny little ants. And Tonlu said, I could never live down there in the shadow of the mountain. And Tonlu's sibling Zan said, but down in the village, there'd be so much more to do. And Tonlu said, oh, I could never live down there. I need to see very, very far. And since I live on the top of a mountain, I know exactly what Tonlu means. I like being able to see far. And just then, they looked, and coming up the mountain steps, was a merchant from the village, that their parents owed money to. And the merchant came up, and the parents looked quite serious, welcomed them in, and closing the door behind them, talked in hushed adult tones. And when the merchant left, the children were quickly ushered off to bed. And the next morning, before dawn, before anyone was awake, Tonlu and Zan went outside to discuss what they thought they heard. Zan said, "I'm very worried. Our parents are very worried. We could lose the farm. We owe a lot of money to that merchant. And if we don't pay it back in 2 weeks' time, we could lose the farm." "Oh no!" "Yes, and we would have to live down in the village." "Oh no!" "I could never live down there," thought Tonlu. And Tonlu began to look up and study the mountain. The top of the mountain was always clouded, shrouded in clouds. Tonlu said, "I'll be back." And before Zan could stop them, Tonlu was headed up the mountain path. "No, not Dragon Mountain," protested Zan. "Tell Mother and Father I'll be back and not to worry." And with that, they were gone. Tonlu took almost all day to reach the top of the mountain. The top of the mountain was always shrouded in clouds. That's why it was called Dragon Cloud Mountain. And Tonlu crept up and looked into the mouth of a large cave, just as the sun was beginning to set. And inside the cave was 2 great big dragons. One was a red dragon with great big wings, and one was a blue-green dragon. It didn't have wings, but it had a beautiful dragon pearl necklace. Tonlu studied the necklace on the blue-green dragon and thought, just one of those pearls would be a fortune in the village and could save the farm. So Tonlu waited patiently for the dragons to fall asleep. And eventually the dragons, snoring loudly as you'd expect dragons to do, Tonlu began to creep closer and closer to the dragons, closer and closer to the cave. Getting inside the cave, Tonlu crept up to the blue-green dragon, and realizing they had no tools, no knife, nothing to cut the cord of the pearl necklace with. And so, almost like a little mouse, they began to gnaw on the necklace until they got the rope free. They pulled just one pearl necklace off and were busily trying to tie the rope back together when suddenly, the blue-green dragon woke up and pearls rolled all over the cave. Well, Tonlu wasted no time, grabbed the pearl, started running out of the cave, and just then, a giant claw, a dragon claw, picked Ton Lu up, placed them in a cage inside the cave. And the one dragon said to the other dragon, "Dragon soup for lunch!" And both dragons began to pull out giant cauldrons and began to build a big fire. And each began to put in herbs and water and stew and mixing all sorts of things. Ton Lu was shaking in the cave, trying to figure out what would they do. And so Ton Lu stood in the cave, and suddenly the blue-green dragon walked over to the cave and said, "So, didn't think I'd miss just one, did ya? Here you go. Choose mine and you can keep it." Ton Lu thought this was a very odd thing to say. And the red dragon said, "Hey, I heard that. Choose mine, and I'll give you a ride around the mountain." And the blue-green dragon said, "Hey, that's not fair." Ton Lu was getting very confused. And the other dragon came over and said, "Wow, you see, my brother and I, we have been waiting a very, very long time for someone to come up here and help decide once and for all whose dragon soup is best." So, Ton Lu looked about, realized that each dragon was making a soup. "You mean I'm not one of the ingredients?" "Oh, no, but you're a clever girl. Choose mine if you know what's good for ya." "What?" the other dragon said. "No way! Choose mine if you know what's good for you." Ton Lu said, No. If this is a contest, shouldn't I taste each of your soups before deciding whose is best?" "Oh, you're very clever." And so each dragon hurriedly busied themselves finishing their soup. When they decided their soups were perfect, because that's the only kind of soup they made, each dragon declared their soup was the best and ready to be judged. And so they put 2 gigantic bowls in front of Ton Lu, because that's the only kind of size bowl a dragon has. And they poured some of the red dragon soup into one bowl, and poured some of the blue dragon soup into the other bowl. "Go ahead." Ton Lu took a giant spoon. "Oh, honorable red dragon, your soup is very delicious." "Honorable blue-green dragon, your soup is also very, very good." Now, I think, if I'm totally honest with you, there's something missing in each of your soups. The dragons looked at her. "What do you mean?" And Ton Lu said, "Well, if I could just have one more bowl." And so they brought one more great bowl in front of Ton Lu, and Ton Lu poured out some from one bowl, poured out some from the other, and swirled it around. "Oh, yes, I think that is the most perfectly divine dragon soup I have ever tasted." "What?" said the dragons. "Who won?" "Taste for yourself." And the red dragon took a big slurp, and the blue dragon took a big slurp, and they both agreed that this soup, the one that had the best of both of them, was in fact the best soup of all. And they decided that that was by far the best gift Ton Lu could have given. So they asked Ton Lu, "What gift can we give to you?" And Ton Lu said, "Oh, well, I would love that beautiful blue-green pearl." That would save our family farm. And I would love a ride on your back, Honorable Red Dragon, and see the very, very far. And so, without hesitation, Tondlu got on the Red Dragon's back, holding the pearl, and got to see very, very far. A story, a story! Gitanin, Taje Takomo! A story, let it come and let it go. Thank you very much. Oh. Now I want to invite my really good friend, Captain Imagination, because Captain Imagination has amazing things to share. What do you say, Captain Imagination?
Hey, how's everybody doing today? I hope that you remembered to bring your imagination, Cap. You know, I was twiddling with mine, adding some cool stuff to it, like the seahorse, and all of a sudden it began to work. And can you believe it? I met aliens. Aliens, they took me to Mars, and they had another ship there that took me through time, and I went to planet Earth. It was weird. I got to go swim under the water, and there were fishies and lots of sharks, and they weren't even afraid. I wasn't afraid because the sharks weren't trying to eat me. Can you believe it? It was really wild. And I couldn't believe how planet Earth had changed. I was on a totally different planet. Hey, do you guys have your imagination cap on? I see Bobby New Eyes does. How about you? Julia, is that your child? Well, at any time you can unmute and join in with me and say hello. Could I know your name?
What's your name? What's your name? Tell her.
It's B-L-I.
No, it's not Blippi. It's Ethan.
Ethan.
Ethan, wow. Well, Ethan, I hope that next time you make yourself an imagination cap. I'm sure your parents would let you do it. You could glue stuff to an old hat and wear it to the show and show it off. Could I see it next week?
Yes.
Sorry, Ethan. I think you and me. Hey, Ethan, are you ready for some magic?
You're ready for some magic?
Yes.
Yeah, you like magic? Well, my buddy Misto the Magi, he came to show you magic. Are you ready, Misto?
Yeah.
You ready? Yeah.
Ethan's ready, and so am I.
Oh.
Hey, Ethan.
You say hi?
Oh my eggs.
Hey, Robert.
You say hi?
Hey, iPhone Scout. Hey, everybody. Okay. What we're gonna do, I'm gonna do a little something that I did this morning on my Facebook. I'm gonna show it to you in case you missed it. It uses a little red scarf, and it uses a bluish purple scarf. And here's what I'm gonna do. First, I'm gonna take the little blue scarf, place it deep inside the red one, just like this. And then we're gonna do the Misto magic. Here's how we do the Misto magic. Everybody can help me. You take your fingers and you wiggle them like this, and you go, witty, 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 witty. That's right. And see, that makes the little blue scarf really small. In fact, it's so small that you can't see them anymore. I know, right? Now look, a lot of people ask me, they say, hey, Misto, Where did the blue one go? Well, if I take the little red one, place them in here, and do the Misto magic. Everybody take your fingers, go. There we go. And see, that actually makes the little red one become the blue one. Of course, a lot of people ask me, they say, wait a minute, where'd the red one go? Well, that secret lies on these lips. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Well, I have a little story myself, just like Bright Hawk. I have brought a special friend with me today, just for you, young man. You're down there on my screen. This uses my friend. Check it out. He's blue. He's hairy. He's scary. Are you ready? Ah! That's right. It's the Cookie Monster. The Cookie Monster. Now, the Cookie Monster lives in his Cookie Monster cave. See, it says right there, it says, my house. So this is where the Cookie Monster lives. There's his TV set, and there's the portrait of his favorite cookie. Now, the Cookie Monster lives right here in his house. He also lives right next to the bakery. What do you think they make inside the bakery? Cookies! They make cookies inside the bakery. And they have all kinds of cookies too. They have chocolate chip cookies. They have M&M cookies. They have
I'll be my toy.
yeah, they have pizza cookies, they have onion cookies, and they have garlic cookies. How many of you like onion and garlic cookies?
You like onion garlic cookies? No.
No. Well, the bakery is closed today because we're in the middle of a pandemic. I know, go figure. But you know what that naughty monster's been doing? He has been sneaking over to the cookie bakery, stealing cookies and running back before anyone has a chance to see him. Now, if any of you see him sneak over and get some cookies and run back, I want to know about it. You can take your microphones off if you want.
You tell him, okay?
He's just right there, but he has been known to sneak over. What? Is he over there?
Is he over there?
He's not there. He's right there. He's watching Sesame Street. But if you see him sneak over, what? Is he over
Where
there?
is he going?
He's not there. Don't you mess with me, you guys, because I got a lot of magic over here to show
Oh,
you.
tell him.
Over there? There. He's like, wait a minute. Has he been running over there getting cookies and running back? He has.
Yeah, tell him, yeah.
You know, that's not nice to take things that aren't yours. You've been a bad monster. You're going to go to your room. You're going to go to your room because you've been a bad monster. There's nothing to do in my room. Just my Lego set and Facebook.
What's going on?
He had to go to his room.
He's going to his room because he's been a bad monster because he has been stealing cookies.
Mhm.
But now he's in his room and he can't sneak over there and
Where
get
is he?
any cookies. And what? He's not there. He's in his room. He is being punished. He has been a really bad monster. What are you laughing at, kid? What? Hey, what? Wait a minute. Oh, he's not in his house. Oh, we got you now, you naughty monster. Ha 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 ha. Uh-oh. The Cookie Monster's disappeared. Where did he go? Where's the Cookie Monster? He's vanished. Oh my goodness. Right,
I
Hawk?
found Cookie Monster.
Oh my gosh, how did he get over to your house?
I don't know.
I guess he was trying to get your cookies. Let's have a big hand for the Cookie Monster. Take a bow, Cookie Monster, take a bow. There he is.
Let's give a
There
hand
he is.
to
All
Miss.
right. I'm Misto the Magi. Thank you, Bright Hawk. Thank you. I'm Captain Imagination for having me be a part of your Sunday fun day because it's fun.
Amazing.
Yeah, we'll do some more magic another time, okay, Mr. Ethan? Because
Okay.
now I think it's time for some more music and a story.
Yay.
Yay! Awesome.
Let's do
That was fantastic. Makes me want to eat cookies. Wasn't that fun? And if you're on the live room, thanks for staying with us. You missed a great little magic show right there. So next stop on our journey, we're gonna go to Africa. Here's a little song from my friend Abdoulaye Sylla taught me this song. Amadouye, 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 Siawalayo, hey, Amadouye, Siawalayo, Amadouye, Oya, 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 Sikoko, Oya, Oya. Oya, sikoko, oya, oya. Let me turn the microphone here so you can hear it. It's not about being perfect, it's just about making a big effort, right? Amadouye, 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 Siawalayo. Hey, Amadouye, Siawalayo, Amadouye. Oya, 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 sikoko, oya, 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 sikoko, oya, 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 sikoko, oya, 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 sikoko, chole. Jole. Now, Africa is a place I have been, and it has many, many wonderful animals. This next story is about a very special little animal. Do you know what a warthog is? A warthog is like a little pig with a couple little horns. They're kind of hairy. They're pretty low to the ground. So I just wanted you to know what a warthog is before we start. Now, before any story can begin, we must begin by calling out to the spirits of the story. Gitanin, Gitanin. Taje, Takomo, Astori, let it come, and let it go. Now this is the story of once upon a time, in a land far away, known as Africa. There was a little warthog named Ingiri Madogo. Ingiri Madogo was the littlest, the littlest warthog in all of Africa. Really? And it was really kind of a problem for Ngiri Madogo because Ngiri Madogo felt like all the warthogs, all of them, were forever making fun of Ngiri Madogo for being so little. But that's just because they were jealous. They were jealous of the other animals who live across the river. The other animals with their stunning stripes, their striking spots, their beautiful horns, their curly trunks, impressive necks, and gorgeous plumage. Do you know what plumage is? Plumage is fabulous feathers. And so the animals, when every year, the other animals, they had a contest to decide who was the most beautiful, who had the most beautiful stripes and spots and horns and necks and trunks. Well, the warthogs, they didn't even bother to enter the competition. Mud wrestling was not on the program. And so when Ngiri Madogo marched out of their village, across the river to see if they could play with somebody else, maybe one of the other animals, they arrived to see the other animals having an argument about, well, I do think my stripes are the most lovely. No, your spots are the most beautiful. As they were arguing, trying to decide who had the most beautiful spots and stripes, they looked at Ngiri Madogo and they said to Ngiri Madogo, "What? No stripes?" said the zebra. "No spots?" said Chewy the leopard. "No neck?" said Twigga the giraffe. "Why, aren't those the most ridiculous horns you've ever seen?" said the rhino. "And you don't even have any feathers or fabulousness," said the crested crane. Ngiri Madogo was just over having people insult them. And so Ngiri Madogo left and was not happy. And on their way back, Ngiri Madogo noticed the baboon, or shall I say, the baboon noticed Ngiri Madogo. And the baboon, Nimbu, said, Oh, what's going on, Ngiri Madogo? And Ngiri Madogo said, I am so sick of everyone making fun of me just because I'm the littlest. And Nimbu said, oh, and you hate being the littlest? Yes. And old Nimbu said, oh, wow. This is a magic drum. This is a magic drum that when you play it, it will bring you wishes. Now, careful what you wish for. Things don't always turn out the way you think they will. Would you like the magic drum? Would I? And Ngiri Madogo eagerly took it in their little hoofs. And that night, a full moon rose, and Ngiri Madogo sat down and played the drum, hoping and wishing. And the sound of the magic drum echoed out over across the savannah. And Ngiri Madogo wished with all their might that the other animals and the warthogs would stop making fun of them. It's no fun when people make fun of you. And pretty soon the sky turned from dark to slightly lighter. And Ngiri Madogo decided it was time to go home, and they went home, and just as the other animals began to wake up, there was a great stirring and a great commotion. You won't believe what happened. Oh the other animals woke up, and all of a sudden, they didn't have striking stripes and stunning spots, impressive horns, curly trunks, graceful necks, and gorgeous plumage. They were all gone. All their markings, all their specialness. Poof. And they were not happy about it. And meanwhile, the warthogs were beginning to wake up. And guess what? The warthogs, they didn't look like warthogs anymore. They had striking stripes and stunning spots, impressive horns, curly trunks, graceful necks, and gorgeous plumage. And they thought they looked fabulous. And they thought they looked just like the other animals. In fact, they thought they looked so great that they were going to enter the grand parade, teach those other animals a lesson, jungle style. And so they went prancing down by the river, and the other animals looked at them and they said, "You stole our markings!" And the warthogs were like, "We look fabulous, and we are going to win all the prizes in the grand parade." Oh, the other animals, they were having a fit. They could not believe it. And so they started to try to improvise. They tried to use sticks for horns. They tried to put red clay on for markings, and everything washed off in the evening downpour. Nothing was working. Well, Ngidi Madogo was still the littlest warthog. And when Ngidi Madogo walked back into the warthog's camp, they were sure to point it out. "Oh, Ngidi Madogo, you're still as plain as ever. Look at us and all our fabulousness." Ngidi Madogo, "I better go play this drum again." So that night, Ngidi Madogo went and got their drum. And again, the moon rose and out over the savannah while Ngidi Madogo prayed, played, and wished. And Ngidi Madogo wished and wished and wished. And after several hours, before it was dawn, Ngidi Madogo crept back into the village, went by to see the other animals, and thought, "Okay, phew, everything's back to normal." Saw the stripes and the spots and the markings on the animals. And when the animals woke up, oh my goodness, the markings were on the wrong animals. The wrong animals had stripes. The wrong animals had spots. The wrong animals had horns. And they thought, the warthogs did this to us. They've put some kind of a spell on us. And they were furious. And they were going to march right down to that river. And so the other animals marched down to the river. And in the meantime, Ngidi Madogo went over to the village where they lived and looked at the warthogs. And the warthogs, oh, they were looking more and more like the other animals. One of them was complaining, "I can't run with this big trunk." Another one said, "What am I going to do with all these feathers?" Another one said, "Oh my God." And they realized they were looking more and more like the other animals, and this wasn't such a good thing. And so they said, "Other animals, they did this to us. We gotta go get them." And so they marched down to the river. And pretty soon the other animals and the warthogs, they're all yelling at each other and screaming. And all of a sudden, there was this little voice, this little tiny voice out of the littlest, smallest warthog in all of Africa. "Stop! screamed Ngiri Madogo. Stop! Why can't you all just get along? Ngiri Madogo looked around and said, why can't you just be happy the way you are? And the animals and their missing stripes and spots all looked at each other and said, we look ridiculous. Oh, well, Ngiri Madogo kind of agreed. They did look ridiculous. And then Ngiri Madogo explained that they had a magic drum and that they had made a wish that everybody would stop making fun of them. And here all of this has happened, and I guess it's my fault, Ngiri Madogo said. So I guess if you want, I'll go make one more wish. And so that night, Ngiri Madogo went out to the savannah and began to play the magic drum one more time, wishing that things might return to normal. And when the dawn came, Ngiri Madogo wandered back into the warthog village. And the warthogs looked like warthogs. And wandered over to the other animals' camp. And all the other animals looked like they were supposed to look. And everybody thought this was the perfect time to hold the grand parade. And while the warthogs clapped for the grand parade, the other animals invited the warthogs to have a great big mud fountain, and they applauded and cheered. And then Ngiri Madogo sat down to have a little drum solo, careful not to wish for anything at all. Except that maybe the best wish is that we all get together and dance, right? So wherever you are, feel free to get up and dance. Let's all get together and dance. Let's all get together and dance. Let's all get together and dance, because it feels really good. Let's all get together and dance. Let's all get together and dance. Let's all get together and dance, because it feels really good. A story. Gitanin, taje ta como. A story, let it come. And let it go. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I think our Facebook live stream might have ended up there.
Okay.
Yeah, for a while now. Wow, this has been really fun. Captain Imagination, you want to share anything?
Well, friends, that was a lot of fun. What a fun adventure into Africa. And I'm just going to say, what's the best part of a rainbow? Does anybody know?
What's the best part of a rainbow?
Is orange.
The orange color?
I don't know, my friend. I think the best part of the rainbow is because all the colors are there. And so if all the colors are there, we get a rainbow. A rainbow wouldn't exist if all the colors weren't there.
Hey, don't do that.
Then stop.
So what does that tell us? That tells us that every color matters. And so does every person and every animal and every plant. So what that means, Ethan, is that you matter, and so do your parents. And each one of us, we could be just the way we are. I hope next time you come in costume. Do you have a superhero costume?
No.
You have a pirate.
No.
You have a pirate
I am
costume.
costume. Actually,
You could make one.
Yep. Make a cape.
make a cape.
Hey, I have a rainbow cape. I wish I could send it to you. Maybe we could ask Cookie Monster how they did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Ethan. Well, I was so grateful that you came, and I hope next time you wear your costume, whatever it might look like. Don't forget your imagination cap.
Mm-hmm.
I love my imagination.
Yeah, you love your imagination cap.
You gotta make one. Just use your imagination. It won't take long. All right,
Sounds
friends.
good.
Do you say?
Well, I want to thank everybody. We can say thank you, Bright Hawk, for telling us amazing adventure stories. And thank you, Misto the Magi, for doing special magic tricks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye, Ethan.
Bye. The down button.
So a really important thing to do every day, and I'm definitely grateful for this moment, this time,
Ethan, listen.
opportunity to say hello to you. So please hear me say thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for what you've been through. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for subscribing to Bright Hawk Productions. For Mitch Harwood, Misto the Magi. Thank you for liking our Facebook pages. And thanks for being you. Thanks for the love that you put out in the world, my friends. You matter, and I love you, and I'm so grateful we've had this little hour together of magic and stories and music. I hope it's been a little way to brighten your day. And I'm so very, very thankful for you. Thank you for your donations. Appreciate you very, very much. Now, I think thank you is one of those most important words in any language. And well, in my travels, I've learned how to say thank you in 35 languages. So don't worry, I only put half of them in this song. See how many you recognize. I bet you recognize a bunch of them. Merci, grazie, shesheni, danki, dankashen, spasiba, tumelama, kalepoka, kitos, kamsahamnida, arigato, obrigado, tatienda, sawabona, sukraya, gracias, ashanti, mahalo, namaste. Thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for what you've been through. I love you. What do you say we do this again? In a couple of weeks. We'll let you know. love and gratitude. When in doubt, count your blessings. When in doubt, apply love. Mwah! Aw, thank you. You're very sweet. Much, much love for you, my friend. Thank you.
That was great fun. Can you hear me? Or no, huh? Oh, well.